Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to take a look at the Santa Fe, I don't know what to call it, the Santa Fe pack for Cajon Pass for Train Sim World 6. Now, I did not purchase Train Sim World 6 because it's literally the same game over and over again with a few tweaks here and there, just having a different number at the end of the name. And nothing in it interested me. Of course, there's no new freight, and there hasn't been for the North American front in a long time. So this is the first North American freight pack that's come out for Train Sim World in quite some time. So I figured, what the hell? Let's take a look. So I got the free starter pack. So literally all I have is this. We're going to take a look. The Santa Fe pack for Train Sim World 6 going to cost you $17.99, released today, November the 13th, 2025. Now it is set in the 90s, so the third track here is still incorrect and would not be, but alas, it is here anyway. Of course, Cajon Pass is required to be able to use the timetable and the scenarios that come within, and it's for PC and 9th gen consoles only. So that means the older consoles that have been clinging to life for quite some time, including the Xbox One, and I still have an Xbox One. It just gathers dust. I don't actually use it. Cannot obtain this pack. So who knows if that's a new trend for any of the Train Sim World content going forward. We shall see. So only PC and 9th gen consoles. With this pack, you're going to get 3 new freight cars: Santa Fe 2-bay cement covered hopper, Santa Fe 3-bay ribbed covered hopper, 86-foot auto parts box car. You're going to get 2 Santa Fe locomotives, the C40-8W red and silver war bonnet, which is basically a skin of the CSX-8W from Train Sim World 2 back in 2020. The SD40-2, which we've seen a million times, ATSF blue and yellow, also an old model, of course, low headlight. I don't know what they used, whether they used the BNSF model or the UP model or CSX model. Who knows? You're going to get 5 scenarios, a full 90s timetable between 2 locomotives. You'll still be able to keep your original Cajon Pass timetable, etc., which we'll go over here in short order. But first, I'd like to point out this is not by Dovetail Games. This is by High Iron Simulations. And a lot of you know, or some of you may not, and that's fine too. High Iron Simulations comes from Train Sim Classic. Now, HIS, short, started making some pretty nice stuff in its early years. A couple of really nice routes. When they started making these add-ons with rolling stock that's not the best rolling stock, it kind of muddies the waters and kind of dumbs everything down, and it just seemed to have gotten worse and worse. Yet they kept making stuff, and I guess they decided to move on to Train Sim World. So that's where they're at today. This pack took them over a year and a half to develop, and it's basically reskins with scenarios and timetables. Now, of course, we do have the Santa Fe GP60 on the horizon, which honestly I feel like they should have just combined with this pack. Alas, they did not, but who knows when that GP60 will come out. It'll probably come out around the same time as Train Sim World 42, but we shall see. So anyway, that's a little bit about the pack. Now available. I'll link down below if you want to go check it out on Steam. But let's get into it and have a look. All right then, folks, we are in the game, and for those that may not know what the Santa Fe is, just a tiny preface or backstory. Santa Fe, short for the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, one of the most successful Class 1 roads in the United States, existing for over 150 years, dating back to the mid-1800s to the late 90s. The road operated its own airline, albeit briefly. It had its own tugboat fleet, bus lines, helped pave the way for modern intermodal services across the U.S. and beyond. And the Fe was a vital artery in freight and passenger traffic connecting the Midwest, which kind of ended in Illinois, all the way into California and down into Texas as well. In 1995, the Fay became the Big Orange, aka BNSF, by way of merger, combining with the Burlington Northern. So ATSF and BN created BNSF in the 90s. The ATSF-8W, which is -8W standing for wide cab, built in various dates and numbers, starting in the 800 range and ending up into the 950s at 152 units total. A 6-axle diesel that produced up to 4,000 horsepower via its GE 7FDL16 with 108,000 pounds tractive effort, and 1,500 were built total for various railroads all over, beginning in 1989. Here, of course, is the second locomotive in the pack, the venerable and well-known and very based and chatterific SD40-2. The Fay had many SD40-2, numbered 5020 and up, skipping around up to about 5260 with 187 units total. A staple of modern American railroading and arguably one of the most reliable and coolest locos ever built. Right here, the SD40-2. A standard cab, 6-axle diesel with 3,000 horsepower, 115,000 pounds starting tractive effort in this little chonker right here from the EMD 16645 E3. Right, so we're going to hop in, like I said, take a look at the stock, and we'll take a look at the timetable, what you're going to get, the playability within the game, and then we will actually run both locomotives for a period of time. We will not do any scenarios, as that would take a very, very long time and make this video very lengthy, which I and you likely don't want. So we're going to try to condense it here. So we have the -8 wide cab. There were -8 standard cabs. This is the -8 wide cab. Variant on the left is the CSX variant, which came out in 2020 for Train Sim World 2 and is literally tit for tat the exact same thing as you see on the right, minus some things that they probably touched up here and there, and that is what we are going to go over. Now, if you think about it, within this pack, it's $18, right? There have been packs come out for Train Sim World over the years that contain, you know, various bits, maybe a rail car or two with a scenario that were very highly priced in their own right. Okay, so if you look at this as a whole, $18 for essentially getting a new locomotive, saying that is, if you don't have the CSX-8 and you would like a -8, you essentially get that locomotive as part of this pack. So you can kind of think of it like that. Like I said, if you don't have it, pretty much everybody has the SD40-2. I think it's a standard, you know, locomotive within the game, in the training area, tutorial area, what have you. And then 3 rail cars, which I've placed over here, which we will take a look at in due time, of course. A couple of very inappropriate for the era and road other cars that were skinned. We'll try and take a look at those as well when we actually go to run some of this stuff. And then you get a whole 90s timetable and 5 scenarios. So money-wise, you know, looking in from the outside, it actually doesn't seem all that egregious, if I'm completely honest. But anyway, let's go ahead and compare them. Well, obviously one CSX, one is Santa Fe. So we can close the door, get a better look here. Now, right off the bat, I always kind of liked the -8 visually within Train Sim World. I think it looked okay. It still kind of holds up. It's got some mold on the nose up here, just grime all over it. It looks okay, but a rusting down on the bottom. The foot plates look okay. And this was back in 2020, guys. So it actually looks okay. Like, I would be totally fine with the skin or texturing like this nowadays, since, you know, things seem to be regressing and not going forward. On the other hand, the Santa Fe does not quite look right to me. One of the first things that pops out about this locomotive in particular is the red. And it's more of like a magenta. I don't know how to describe it. It just seems a bit off to me. The other thing is this back here, this gray. These engines were not gray. They were a silver. Yes, they got dirty. It was almost a reflective type material. This is actually just gray. The Santa Fe on here, you know, as far as the logo and the font, it does look okay. Looks somewhat appropriate, but you can actually see that it's kind of a, since it's considered like a sticker or a label that goes on over top the rest of the locomotive, so you can actually see stuff bleeding through. So that doesn't look the best. It's kind of cleaner than the rest, although you can see some of it, you know, bleeding through. It just doesn't look fantastic. Just right off the bat. Down below, you've got some odd kind of green coloring down with the axles down here, which I'm not sure what's going on with that, why it's green at all. And then the logo on the front, it just looks very low res. Once again, you know, this is Train Sim World 6. Things like this should definitely be a bit more sharp. And you can actually see a bit of the blurring edge of whatever this is, the masking or whatever the hell the technical term is called, from the very edge kind of bleeding out into infinity and beyond, versus the actual model here. And that looks like ass. That's not a very good look. If you go over and look at, you know, the CSX version, yes, it doesn't have font that stretches all the way across, but you don't see any kind of weird stuff like that on this model. Like I said, the original CSX-8 I thought visually always looked okay to me. It's probably one of the best looking North American engines for freight in Train Sim World's existence. As far as I'm concerned anyway, our opinions, of course, do vary. You'll note they both have low ditch lights. The nose lights are the same. The number boards on the CSX are on the cheeks, and the ones on the Santa Fe are on the brow, which look okay. We'll look at these a bit better here. This don't look too shabby from what I can tell. This obviously would have been done up. This would have been altered to the engine. It's probably one of the better looking things I've seen, just kind of poking around this for the last hour or so. So that doesn't look terrible. You will see the kind of black trim paint bleeding off of the edge of the rubber or plastic stuff around the windshield here, the windscreen. That's not a great look either. It looks like overspray from little Billy's first art project in school or something. It just does not look that great. You kind of notice it here as well. I don't know if it's just a overall model or a texture thing. I feel like it's a bit more blended better. That was a tongue twister. So it's not as noticeable, but it still doesn't look fantastic. You've got all the same grab irons on the nose, the same sand fills. The doors have a window, so you can see out for safety, the steps, all that good stuff. Of course, the paint is different. Trying to see what else could be totally different here. I believe the plow is different as well. This one looks like it is a bit higher. Well, this one is kind of smooshed down a little bit. You can see some kind of shadow play going in there. I don't know if that's like a LOD, level of detail issue, or something like that. You can see an insane amount of kind of rubbing along the bottom of the plow here. We'll see if we got it on the CSX variant. Nope, it looks about what you would see in real life. Maybe a little more weathering or rubbing or something like that. But overall, I don't think visually this thing looks that great. You know, texture-wise, exterior-wise. The number font looks okay. I mean, it looks as it should. It's in about the right area, right ballpark, I guess you could say. They do have different horns, of course. It's got a 5-bell K5 unit. This one over here, I think it's RS3, big old trumpets, so it's got to be a Leslie RS3. It's cool to see, you know, Leslie RS3 model, although I think we had one on the Clinchfield ST40. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think we did. I may be wrong, but it's neat to see that. It is the exact same horn on the Santa Fe ST40-2 unit. Oh my God, look at that air conditioner. That does not look great. Let's see, what else do we have here? So the roof is a bit different. You'll note the kind of sharper edge on the head here. We'll call it the head, the cab, the head end. This one has got more of, I guess you'd call it like a gull wing style, where it's kind of bent in the middle. So that was changed, and it does look different. I don't see any kind of weird stuff going on model-wise there, so that looks okay, as far as I can tell. Oh, there we go. Some stuff poking out there, which is not supposed to be. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's obviously some kind of model issue, so that does not look great. That does not appear on the CSX model. So not looking fantastic overall so far. Let's look at some of the placards. No injury is acceptable. F for front. We've got some more kind of very poor UV mapping, texturing issues going on here with whatever the hell these lines are. I don't think those are on the actual road engines. You can kind of see some going up the nose as well. Just, you know, it's things like this you would think that after a year and a half, which it took them to create this pack, that would have been corrected. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Let's see what's going on up top. Should be largely the same. The roof is different. This one's got what I call the old ice skate aerial up there right in the middle. This one's got different equipment. They are different roads, obviously, different types of antenna equipment, a lot more on there versus that one. So that one just had stuff removed, essentially. The horns, lights in the back. Does not have number boards, as does the CSX. We've got the light down there. So yeah, I mean, it's a Dash 8. Let's get inside. We're actually not in the correct engine, so let's get the hell out of here. As far as operation, we're not going to do that at this point in time. We will run one or two of these trains and see what happens. Climb over these ties over here. Get up in the cab. It looks like a blurry, muddy mess. The CSX variant, you know, it all kind of blends together better. This, you know, I'm already starting to see some of the not so great stuff that High Iron and his umbrella of associates have created for Train Sim Classic, kind of bleeding, definitely pun intended with the texturing, over into Train Sim World. A lot of this stuff just does not look that fantastic texture-wise. I mean, let's be honest here. Train Sim World, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of disagrees, and that's fine. It's purely eye candy for the Unreal Engine that it's in, right? Operationally, it's, you know, it's not the best Train Sim, and you could argue with all kinds of folks about that, but it really isn't. It's mainly just like an eye candy kind of deal. Can we open the pooper? No, it's a big negative. All right. We are inside the Dash 8. We got the front end device, or what the hell am I trying to say? Rear end device, head of train device. All up there. I don't know if that's accurate. As far as the Santa Fe, I believe they had a digital speedometer, so that is incorrect. I don't think they had a airflow meter, which is this right here, directly in front of us. And I'm pretty sure the Freddy equipment, or the rear train equipment, would have been situated right here on top of the dash. It is not. I don't think the Santa Fe unit would have had this box as well, as far as the fuel and the engine. I don't know why that's up there. I don't think Santa Fe had that. They definitely would have had, or most likely would have had, a alerter sitting up here on the dash on the right side, a blinker. You don't really see anything in here denoting that it's Santa Fe equipment. Let's open the doors. Oh, yeah, that also looks like ass. So this little piece here, whatever that is not supposed to remain there, that kind of black sill. So one of the guys that's in High Iron Simulations, the group that made this pack, is known very well for this kind of stuff in Train Sim Classic. And that is not a good look. I don't recall CSX having that issue. Yeah, that's not fantastic. Let's open the windows. Can I? There we go. Open the back part. No. Let's lean out. So there's the blind down. Down on the exterior as well. Blind up. Looks okay as well, I guess. Just make sure everything's kind of copacetic in here. Alright, so we are now in the CSX unit just to kind of do some tit for tat here. I already opened the door and determined that it does not leave the weather stripping on the ceiling like the Santa Fe variant does. Pretty much everything else should be the same. The other issue in the Santa Fe unit being that it's got the gull wing kind of shape. It's present outside when you're looking at the cab. I know this is a tough view, not looking at the roof, obviously. But the interior looks just like this, so they didn't change anything on that front to kind of give it the gull wing look. So as you can see, they literally did pretty much nothing at all between the cab interiors, as this is a CSX unit and it looks literally identical. Alright, we're back in the Faye unit. So this pack was known to have new horns. Apparently the dev team and Dovetail themselves, and it kind of spread around that nothing changed sound wise except for the horns. Of course the horn models are different. It's got the S3L up there on the top, big old trumpets. Let's go ahead and test that bad boy out. It actually doesn't sound that bad. Gonna be completely honest here, gonna give them a fair shake. This is their foray into train sim world, so I'm not just gonna come in here and just crap all over everything. Although it's high iron and it's hard not to do, seeing as how they cut a lot of corners. We're going to try and give them a fair shake. That sounds good. Now, why we never got any horn sounds like that in Train Sim Classic behooves me. It sounds okay. It sounds kind of quiet. It sounds kind of flat, like there's no occlusion to it. But we'll see. We'll go a little bit farther away and test it here. Yeah, it's a touch quiet. It'd be nice if it was a bit louder, but overall, I think the sound isn't that bad. It's got a nice start, nice middle, nice end. It's just a clean loop. Let's try it again here up close. I don't hear any popping or clicking or anything like that, so that's nice. Let's try the cab. Oh my God. There's no difference within the cab. It sounds exactly the same, just maybe a tiny bit quieter. Yeah, so I guess so far you get a couple of skins and a new horn sound. It's, you know, it's not terrible. It's definitely like an old crusty S3. But it's not the worst thing. Let's go get in the 40-2 and check those out. Alright, so the Faye unit on the right is the new one, the 90s Cajon pack that we are looking at today. I've got a UP unit on the far left and Bean Sniff in the middle there. A more modern unit, the one in the middle there with the skid mark logo. This one probably has about the same amount of differentiation between locomotives and roads, I guess. Obviously it's got the low headlight, nose light. The BNSF had that as well. UP is up top. The horn is in a different location versus the Bean Sniff. The UP, the tiny UP horn over there, and the big old Leslie trumpets on the front of this thing. And you know, I've still kind of got some issues with these colors. I mean, this is starting to look like a blueberry to me, like a blurple, you know, and it's just a very kind of violet look. I feel like it looks a bit better on the bottom plow-wise compared to the Dash 8 over there, which looks like it was just being dragged across rough concrete for an eternity, giving it a nice polished look. What else we got here? No ditch lights on the Fay unit on the right. Up top there and mid or low there. The horn, number boards are the same. What else is there? The top equipment will be different naturally. I think roughly everything else will be the same. The MU hookups are different on the UP variant, and then you've got the bean sniff variant here. I think what they did is just took the bean sniff variant and kind of altered it a bit. But honestly, you know, I'm preferential to Dash 2s, SD40-2s anyway, because they're cool as hell. And I think this unit looks a little bit better than the Dash 8 over there, for what it's worth. We got to watch your step decal and F decal. I don't see anything too outstanding or outstanding at all, really, except for the logo. I feel like this logo looks a little bit better than the logo on the Dash 8 as well. Don't see any weird bleeding anywhere. Some roughness or kind of weather texture on the nose. Doesn't look terrible. Got the same font on the side. Got the Fay logo as well. Got some interesting stuff going on with the texturing there. Again, I don't know the technical terms, but that's very odd. I mean, honestly, this thing does look a bit better visually than the Dash 8. What doesn't look cool is those dynamic fans constantly running when we most certainly do not have dynamics in operation currently. So that is a problem. So we've got the horn on the roof, the air conditioner. The BNSF has the two separate eggs up there, so that's kind of taken from the UP unit over there. Same aerial for radio up top. What else are we missing? It's got the little skid back here as well with the ice skate, which the Fay was known for. These do not have it. Is there anything else? Yeah, so look, these are spinning, all spinning. The NSF unit, it's running, but none of those are spinning, and then none of those are spinning either. They're all running, mind you. Got a number on the back there. Yeah, the mapping on this thing is insane. It's like the layers or whatever are just not blended well. Some weird stuff going on with the livery and the skin. But yeah, these don't look that terrible overall. I wish the trucks had a bit more weathering. But yeah, I'm a bit more biased towards the Dash 2 than that Dash 8 over there. It's just, I don't know. It looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more appropriate. We'll get in the inside. Check that horn out. Same horn there, so they save money on that. Air conditioning box up top. Nothing denoting Santa Fe or ATSF on the inside. It's probably literally going to be the same as maybe the UP unit. The BNSF unit has a more modern electronic setup on the control desk here, as far as the Freddy and the alerter and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's take a look at what you can do with this pack, and then we will run both the Dash 2 and the Dash 8. Alright, the main menu of 6 TSW6. Oh, Dingus McToot. I'm somehow level 29. I don't know how. We'll go to the trains, choose a route. As you can see, this is all I have got. Now, I could install all the old stuff that I have for this, because it's all compatible, because, well, it's the same damn game. It's just got a different name, if we're really honest with ourselves, which we should be. But I've only got Cajon Pass and Sherman Hill, because if you've got Sherman Hill as well and you've got it installed, you'll see Union Pacific locomotives running over the pass around San Bernardino and all that good stuff. So Look at the timetable. As you can see here, there are two timetables. The one on the right is your standard timetable that came with Cajon Pass, which, when did Cajon Pass come out? What was that, Train Sim World 3? Or was it 4? I can't even, it's crazy. 6. Anyway, Santa Fe in the 90s. This is what you get right here. You click on it. You got your on foot thing where you can just load in and kind of tool around and, you know, do whatever you want. And then, of course, you've got your SD40-2 ATSF and C40-8 ATSF. Let's look at both of these logos. Again, this blue, I'm just looking on the right there in the UI. It's got like a very purple look to it. I'm not sure. And it's got a difficulty of 1. I didn't know that was a thing as well. So, okay, let's look at the Dash A first. Let's click on it. Got a pretty thick timetable, but as with a lot of Train Sim World stuff, it's literally between 1 and 4 trains just broken down into like 10 segments. So it's kind of all the same stuff. But we'll just have a look-see and look around here. Train 188 from Barstow to Victorville. We've got a manifest here, 823. Trailers on flat cars. Let's see, TOFC and perishables, so some reefers. A manifest. Oh, let's see. So a little bit of variation, but a lot of it's kind of the same and just blocked together, it would seem. A lot of part 1 through, you know, part 3, yada yada. I did notice a few of these had they were deemed extras, which is kind of funny because, you know, if you come from Train Sim Classic, you'll know a lot of the high iron stuff. His scenarios will have extras, like down here, the coal extra, because I guess you couldn't be bothered to go and find the actual train number. Now, could I tell you exactly what the train number is for this? Absolutely not. Not off the top of my head. But if you looked hard enough, you could probably find it. So it's kind of weird that it's, yeah, here's an extra coal train. I'm sure it was numbered. We got another one down there. So TOFC and intermodal in the Dash 8. Looks like a lot of intermodal. Automobiles intermodal. What else do we have? We have a few manifests up there. So a lot of it's intermodal. Of course, that makes sense because the Dash 8 was part of the Super Fleet. The road that paved the way for intermodal. The Dash 2, let's look at that. As you can see here we've got the UP variant and the ATSF variant. We're going to click on the ATSF variant. A pretty girthy, you know, timetable as well. But it's all broken down. I mean, this is a 15-minute thing. This is 24 minutes. This is 3 minutes. You know, hooking up and cutting out helpers. Rock extra again. You know, I would assume that the rock trains had names. I don't know. Hyundai intermodal. Hyundai, was that a thing in the 90s? Was Hyundai really? I mean, I think they were here in the States in the 90s, but they weren't as prevalent as they are today. It's just interesting seeing that. I believe there's a big Hyundai plant down there. Another rock train extra. Helper light engine. Yeah, a lot of them are pretty short. Couple of manifests. Doobity-doo. Got a local. Okay. Grain extra. Again with the extra. No train number. That's kind of weak sauce. A lot of extras on this one. Holy moly. A lot of part 2s, 3s, 4s. Jeepers creepers. Manifest. So yeah, looks like the Dash 2 has quite a bit more. But, you know, a lot of its parts kind of samey. Let's look at... Do we have scenarios? Am I losing my friggin' mind here? Choose a route. Cajon Pass. Oh, here we go. Scenarios. Let's see. BNSF, ACE. Okay, here we go. They start hither. Cargill turn. Morning turn from San Bernardino to Cargill. Interesting. Cushenberry turn. Let's see. That's with the SD40-2. Here's with the Dash 8. Unexpected delays. Train 823. Encounters unexpected delays. That sounds enthralling. Last lap to San Bernardino. Also the Dash 8. Thorn Road Switcher. Shipper sets out and pickups. I could do that. I like local and switcher stuff. It gives you something to do. That's why I can't really vibe with a lot of the passenger-centric stuff within Train Sim World, because it's just so mind-numbing to me to just start, stop, open the doors over and over. I mean, freight, you know, and it's done right in some sims with the weight and the timing and stuff. It's tough. It can be challenging, and it feels nice when you kind of get it right. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. You get a couple of scenarios. Whoopity-doo. But what I did do is glaze over the all-new rail cars that you get with a pack. So let's get back into that. All right, boys and girls. So right here are the 3 actual new things for Train Sim World 6 that High Iron Simulations, the group, made for the game. These 3 cars right here. First up, we'll go to the 2-bay rock hopper. The texturing on it does not look fantastic, nor do the axles. Oh my god, those springs, oh my god, does not look awesome. You can actually open the hatches. Interesting, kind of neat. Font on the side looks appropriate, but you know what does not look appropriate is if I'm thinking of the actual 2-bay rock hoppers, they didn't look like this really at all. Just go Google some pictures. Santa Fe 2-bay rock hoppers in the 90s. They didn't really look like this. The biggest glaring thing to me are the ribs on the side. There are too many ribs on this one, and they're too close together. On the real ones, there was like a big gap in the middle. It's hard to explain. I guess I could show pictures on here, but I'm lazy. Now, the texturing on here doesn't look terrible compared to like the Dash 8, as far as I can tell thus far. But oh my god, those trucks and axles and springs look abysmal. See if we can crawl up here. You can. Okie dokie. Oh my god. This super paper thin cheese grater footplate down here. Cheese and crackers. That looks terrible. So that's a hallmark of the developer that is part of High Iron Simulations, known as DTM. He made all of this stuff that you see in the pack here. I think Gary, the main High Iron guy, and the guy that writes all the fancy adjective-laden articles that you see for Dovetail Games, basically does the, quote, research and makes scenarios and stuff like that. So all the models and everything, I'm pretty sure that's DTM, and then maybe Michael Stefan sprinkled in there as well. You can see the extremely thin modeling. You get the perfect angle, and it's absolutely see-through, like it does not exist. The edges of the footplate up there, that looks really, really bad. That is not great. There's no equipment back here, no hardware, which is interesting. Some cars, it's generally just on one side, so we've got it back here. Got our handbrake animated. Wait a minute, were these on the San Francisco map from Train Sim World 2? Just altered? I think they may be. Now I'm kind of confusing myself. The axles are just extremely shiny platinum. We'll look at these. Yikeroonies. I guess it's because you can see them. You can see them a bit more prominently, being that there's not a lot of equipment back here blocking them. I don't remember axles looking like this on other freight rail cars. Oh, the textures are just so muddy all over this thing. I don't understand why they couldn't make this for the older generation consoles. I mean, you should be able to play this kind of stuff on like a SNES Nintendo. That looks like dogs, so the chain actually goes through this footplate here, which is just... Holy hell, that looks bad. Is it white? Is it devoid of any texturing or color? What the hell? Yeah, literally just... We'll try and go back here and turn it. Yeah, it literally just goes right through the foot plate there, so. Big yikers. Big yikers. Let's see if we can climb up here as well. Yeah, you can hang on. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. I'd say it's very mid. I'd say it's like a 5 out of 10 as far as the cars go. The modeling of the foot plates, oh my god. Like, you can't see them here, right? But you back up and you can kind of see the edges. Jesus, dude. Year and a half for this. Year and a half. All right, over here we got the old illustrious, probably one of my favorite hoppers. Or, you know, kind of 70s, 80s, 90s freight car, the 4750. Damn cool freight car. It's neat seeing these things still kind of rolling around the country today. Ribbed, and honestly, this thing looks pretty good. It looks pretty legit from what I can tell. It's not too shabby. At least, you know, we have a 4750 now, so if people wanted to make skins for other roads, you'd be able to do that, of course. Look at the springs on that. Look at the springs on that. They don't look as terrible, but very similar. My God, brother. It's got a couple of decals here and there, ATSF, the car number on the side. Can open the panels down low. Texturing is a bit questionable. It looks like a giant fingerprint or something. Like, a lot of this stuff looks like a giant fingerprint. Or what the sand looks like on the shore of the ocean, you know? Makes those little ribbled ridges. It's weird. Very weird. Look at the back. Yeah, we still got chains going through this horrible. This foot plate is. That's really tough to look at. That's really tough to look at. It certainly is. Get up on the car, I reckon. There we go. Yeah, 4750. Not too shabby, I guess. And then we got, last but not least, the 86-foot auto parts boxcar. So these were made obviously for auto parts. They could ship a ton of parts in one giant boxcar. The thing is freaking huge. It's I mean, it's just big when you look at it compared to like a regular boxcar. Holy shnikes, it's friggin' massive. So it's kind of neat that we got it in the game. It doesn't look horrible. It looks overall kind of flat. Like the model itself doesn't have a certain kind of thickness to it. You know, as far as like the ribbing on the sides and the, you know, the bolts and things like that, it almost reminds me of something from like Train Sim Classic that was somehow retrofitted into Train Sim World. It's kind of strange. Decals, that one looks a bit odd. Santa Fe up there looks all right. Can we open the doors? No, it's locked. Can we not? Oh yeah, yeah. Let me hobo this biatch. So the animation's okay. That's not too bad. Give me the. There we go. Open sesame. Looks like a crime scene was cleaned up on the inside of this door here with some bleach and wiping and brushes and things like that. Do I have a light on? Yeah, I do. The interior is, well, it doesn't look fantastic, but it's the inside of a boxcar. I mean, you're not really going to be in here, but at least you could role play as a railroad transient if you would so like to do. You know, and just enjoy the scenery or something like that. But, yeah, big old friggin' boxcar. It doesn't look terrible. The ends look okay. The ends actually look pretty appropriate. They had a unique look to them on the ends. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say the 4750 there is probably number 1. This one's number 2, and then that one is number 38. Gosh almighty. All right, let's run some trains. All right, we're in the Dash 8. We got a little run set up from San Bernardino up to Summit. Of course, we're not going to do the whole thing. We're just going to run the train a skosh. See what kind of lash up we got here. Holy Dash 8 City Batman. So we've got some auto racks. So this also comes with a pack, skinned auto racks, which again, that color, it looks like Pepto-Bismol. It's just, it doesn't look great. Not a great look. So a lot of your Dash 8 stuff, especially in daytime, is going to be trailers on flat cars, intermodal, and some auto parts stuff. No real manifests or anything like that. I think there's coal trains here and there. Then you've got the trailer on flat cars, which is not new, again, to Train Sim World. And, of course, these are all lovingly unbranded without anything that look just super bland, being all gray or white or whatever the hell color or non-color that is. And just massive blocks, and then who knows what the hell's down there. But anyway, let's get this thing set up, see if I can remember how to do it. We'll go look at our back panel here. We've got the alerter off, so we're going to flip that bad boy on. All that is on. All that is on. Engine is in run. Get those number lights on. We do have to check the lights. I completely glazed over that as well. Heater. We don't need the heater. It's California. It's hot. It's hot, isn't it, buddy? Alright, let's get in a chair. Let's go. Oh, what did I do? I didn't mean to hit that. Let's go down here and pop a look. Alright, engine run is on. Gen field is on. Dynamic is on. Gauge lights on. Step lights. Yeah, that's all gravy up there. Down here, you're going to have your brake cutout. We're going to set that to freight. Then we're going to set this to lead. And then we should be able to see some air happening on this non-existent existing airflow meter. Go ahead and throw that forward. What do we got up here? None of this works at all. None of the head-end device works at all. The radio, I think you press that to basically activate all the engines behind you as like a cheat mode. So we're setting forward. Let's see. Let's go ahead and release the train brake. Reward earned. You used the brake. Okay, so you're telling me hold on, still watching the main reservoir. I can hear the compressor running. By the way, the sounds are not great. Sounds like a hairdryer. Everybody knows that. This does not have the notable 7FDL chug, which is a glorious cacophony of sound. This is just... I guess they couldn't be bothered to deal with sounds. Dovetail nor high iron. Take a look at the back. Well, the EOT is blinking, and wowzers, it says CSX. So we've got a CSX Transportation Freddy on a 90s Santa Fe unit. Jesus. We couldn't model one of these. It's a friggin' box. It's a box. I bet you could give a monkey a Red Bull in 3 hours, and they'd get us a new one. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of working. It's CSX. It's... Jesus. Not even mad. Just disappointed. Not even mad. All right, we release the brakes. Let's get a couple of notches down under our belt. Start coming off the Indy. Lead it. Wait a minute. What happened here? We're set to lead. Cut in. Why am I not hearing amperage? I can't tell what the rear end device is doing. I keep calling it like 10 different things. The Freddy. Did I friggin' set this all up right? I mean, it should be easy peasy. Fuel pump is on. Yeah. All the motors are on. Why are we not running? Set to run. Okay. Let's look down here one more again. Independent brake valve. Yeah. Nice, yeah. Engine run, gym field. I'll just flick these. It may be a weird game thing. Who the hell knows? Headlights. Can't forget the headlights. Yeah, the gauges are odd. I find it very hard to believe that we charged up in like 3.2 seconds. Okay, so we're rolling, so the brakes have come off. But it's not giving me power. Go back neutral, back forward. Dude, what is happening here? What? Am I losing my absolute mind here? What? Everything is set up right. Is it the stupid banking com thing? Did I mess that up? Drawing absolutely no amps. The CFM gauge that shouldn't be on here is absolutely through the roof, which is pretty sure not correct. Yeah, the horn works. Dude, what the hell? Lead or dead? We are lead, obviously. Banking comm on. Dude, what is happening? Did it not like me trying to be realistic and turn the alerter on? All this is on. Fuel pump is on. Yada yada yada. Engine start. I mean, the engine's running. You can hear the damn thing. Well, this is pretty infuriating. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Well, we don't have power. There's the alerter, which we can't see. Grip it and rip it. Is this thing broken? I'm probably the only person having this issue. Yeah, we're not getting any power. We're just rolling away here. Let's get up again. Let's just hit the magical start button. See if that does anything. Even though we're started. Ah, lovely. Yeah, the hair dryers are full throttle. Dude. Run. Isolate run. We'll put it back to run. We'll just flip switches here. I'm about to put my fist through the monitor. Let's turn the safety device off. Maybe it didn't like that. Dude, what in the heck? Okay. Now we're getting power. Now the CFM is magically going down. So, let's revisit what I did. I turned off the safety equipment, which is insane. And then I flicked the engine control mid-operation. Ah, son of a... Okay, so we're in the SD40-2 now. We have got a manifest, same location. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 engines. Now, you will get mixed consist with engines, which is kind of neat to see, I guess. And here we've got a manifest train. And what you'll note in the manifest train is it's not... Well, this one actually... Now this one's making me look like a complete ass, more so than I already am. A lot of the manifest trains that I've seen so far are super blocked up, which is ridiculous looking and not how things look in the U.S. as far as manifests and railroading. This one looks okay. It doesn't look that bad. Speaking of bad, this is the other thing you're going to get. This is the alleged ATSF coal gondola. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Fae had coal gons like this. Now, this is not a new model. They took an existing model and put red and ATSF on it. That's one of the other things you get. But anyway, a lot of these are blocked up, which look bad. This one is not that bad. It's kind of mixed up a little bit, so that's interesting. Yeah, I was literally about to say all the manifests are blocked up. A lot of them I saw, they were blocked up, but these surprisingly are not. So let's get inside SD40-2. God, these gauges look abysmal. All right, let's get up out of the seat. Number lights on. Let's see. We are set to run. Let's open our panel here. Fuses look gravy. Closed. Closed means on. Open means off. Close, 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 close. Let's turn our warning devices on and see if that does anything. Good deal. Let's sit back in the sheet. Throw the reverser in. Down here, we're going to set that to lead. We're going to cut the freight in. There's our radio. Headlights. Oh, no, that's the heat. Dumbass. There we go. Headlights. Headlights. Engine run on. Gin field on. Control and fuel on. Throw that forward. All right. Let's charge her up. Charge her up. No end of train or head of train equipment in here that I can see. They did change over the years. Got the alerter up there. I don't know how apropos that is for ATSF. I figured it had been up here, kind of like on the bean sniff units. Maybe they moved it, not sure. Bank can come on. That activates all the other locomotives. Airflow indicator doing its thing. We'll just bail off the engine just because. What the hell? There's the compressor coming on. See how long it takes. We'll take a look at the headlights. These headlights don't look too bad. The color of them was what I'm alluding to. Like the Dash 8, they were just kind of a bright white, no color. Even today in modernity with advanced technologies and lightings and things like that, most headlights on trains are still kind of like an orangey glow. And Train Sim World has never had that, sadly. It's always just been white. It looks ridiculous. These don't look that bad. I don't know if the yellow surround on the nose is kind of hiding that, but the Dash 8, it was noticeable, and it did look like arse. Let's go on the back. Let's look. You know, we're probably going to see the same thing, but okay, this has got to be an SF. Blinky boy. Okay, so the BNSF did not exist yet. Even though it's got B&Q, Burlington Northern. Oh, this is the other reskin you're going to get, which again, I don't know if the Fae had these boxcars either. The Fae was very particular in their rolling stock and what they had and what they did not have. So I think that covers all the rolling stock. Some more open top. Or wait, no, these are the Colgons that are incorrect. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You guys in the chat know? Let it rip down below, please. Get back in the engine. Okay, so we get back in the engine and the brakes start going bananas. Maybe it was the alerter. I think it was. I think the alerter just murdered us. Let's dump the emergency. Not like we're going to go on a big run anyway. Get yeeted. I mean, physics-wise and all that, all this stuff kind of feels the same. So nothing's changed on that front. I guess that was a great run as well. To be honest, we weren't going to go that far. I do like the way the SD40-2s look in this pack over the Dash 8, if I'm completely honest. Would I recommend this pack? Probably not. Primarily because there's a in-game editor where you can paint engines, and you can essentially paint an SD40-2 and a Dash 8 in Santa Fe livery, as people have been doing for years now. This is a pack where you simply buy them, and they've got their own timetable. I guess it's neat that it's got its own timetable and different runs between the two engines. You do get 3 new freight cars, and one of them looks pretty abysmal. The other 2 look okay, to be honest. You get some scenarios. It's $17, you know, apples to apples with other DLC that's been out for Train Sim World. Pricing wise, I think it's pretty fair, to be honest, because also if you don't have the CSX-8, you'll get a Dash 8 as part of this pack. So I mean, you can kind of look at it like that. I would very much wait for a sale, see what happens, but who knows? High Iron Simulations foray into Train Sim World out of Train Sim Classic for the first time. This pack took 1.5 years. We have a GP60 coming. Who knows when that's going to happen? And as far as I can tell, they're the only ones doing North American freight for Train Sim World. So guys, if you're into freight for Train Sim World, this might be it. But I think that's gonna just about cover it, guys. It's pretty much what I expected from High Iron Simulations. A lot of corners cut, a lot of stuff that I'm damn sure they knew well about, but they tried to push it anyway because, you know, Gary greases palms with Dovetail and has been for years. So he gets what he wants published when Daddy wants it published. And that's just High Iron Simulations for you. So will it always be kind of half-assed and rushed? And by rushed, year and a half? Who knows? But we'll see. I mean, it's honestly, for their first thing, it's not absolutely terrible, but it definitely could have been better. They could have let it cook a little bit longer and fix a lot of glaring issues, like with the modeling bits and the textures and things like that. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you next time. Bye.